Good morning! I just wanted to show you guys that I'm starting to do some harvests of kale in my backyard. So this is them after being harvested. And this is what I got. So there's a lot of stuff here. I'm definitely going to do a lot of blanching and freezing today for these guys. So I also today am going to be harvesting these really pretty heads of lettuce. They're nice and big and they're ready to go. So we'll see how full my basket gets here in a bit. So in here we have raspberry leaves, lemon balm, and a whole basket of spinach. Look at all the greenness. Okay, after several hours of picking stuff, I brought everything inside and I gave it a good wash. This is just some of the kale here. And I'm stripping the stems and I'm putting it in a basket and I'm going to blanch, put them in a mason jar, and then put them in the freezer. So this is the curled kale that'll be next to get washed. And then everything's going to go in a pot in a minute. Okay, so I want to show you guys how I destem this. And it's super simple. I did try starting out with a knife and then I just found it to be more annoying. So I'm just gonna peel the stems out and just rip these up into tiny pieces. And then we're gonna blanch them. All the stems and everything else will go back out in the garden as compost. So here is the final result. A whole entire thing of kale. It's pretty hefty. So what we're going to do now is we're going to blanch it for 2 minutes and then put it in an ice bath. And then I've been reading a lot about you can do it in, put it in plastic bags and freeze it, or you can freeze it in a mason jar. Now I've seen more with the plastic bags in the mason jar, but we're going to do both just to see how they work. Okay? Okay, so I got my different stations set up. I have my clean mason jars. I have my kale ready to go. I have my boiling water, and then I have my ice bath. So it'll go kale, boiling water, ice bath, jar. Okay, so I'm going to do just a few handfuls. And into the water it goes. I put a lot more in there than I expected, but it'll be alright. So then take your ladle or something with a slotted spoon. Kind of push it under the water, and 2 minutes from now we're going to take it out and we're going to put it in the ice bath. See all that beautiful green color though? Oh my goodness. So yummy. Okay, so we're going to take this out. Let some of the hot water drain out. We're going to go over to this lovely ice bath here. Get that down in there to stop the cooking process. Now, I feel like that might have been a hair too long. It was 2 minutes, but it's pretty wilty, so I might just do it for a little bit less than that. Look how green and beautiful they are, though. This is wonderful. Alright, just gonna kind of move this around here. And then I'm gonna put it in a strainer so the water can drain. I used to think that I had too many colanders. Now it's like I don't have enough. Alright, here we are all strained. Now we're gonna go for round 2. Alright, another couple of handfuls. And I didn't say this before, but this is a mix of dinosaur kale and blue curled kale. I like keeping them mixed up. They have a little different flavor to them. Alright, into the pot. Boil 2 minutes. Alright. Making sure everything stays under here. By the way, guys, this is my first time really freezing kale like this. I had a couple of kale plants before, but I only like picked the leaves off and ate them in real time. Now we're getting to the point where I had so many kale plants this year that it's really time to do something, learn how to do this stuff. And being the age that I am, you know, I love learning. I can never stop learning. Like, I'll never be one of those people who are just like, nope, I can't learn anymore. That's just not who I am. So the more I learn about this, the more I provide healthy food for my family, that it's homegrown, it's a more sustainable living than driving to the grocery store or having things delivered. So, and I control what goes on my plants and what they're exposed to, which is amazing. Like, that's my favorite part about it, is that I know exactly how it was grown, what it was grown in, where it came from, all that stuff. So, bonus to be having your own garden in your backyard is that you have everything you need as long as you plant the things that you like. This is everything blanched and put in here. As you can see, it's very wilted. I'm going to let it drain for a few more minutes, get as much of the water off as I possibly can, and then we're going to put it in jars. Okay, so this is mostly drained. It's still a little bit wet, but it's not too bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a handful, and because this is my house, no washing my hands, and we're going to shove it down in there. I'm going to kind of pack these pretty tightly down. Not really sure how to do this. If it should be loose or it should be tight. I'm going to pack it as much as I can, and then when I run out of room, we'll stop here. Alright, so I'm going to stop right there. Give it a little bit of headspace because I don't know how much this is going to expand. I could probably squish it down some more though. A little bit more. Okay. So that's it. That's all I'm going to do to that guy, just because we're doing a test run. See if mason jars or freezer bags are going to be better. I've also seen this pressure canned, where they blanch it and they pressure can it on top of that. So we'll see what happens, but I'll definitely show you guys the results of my experiment and see which way is better. Okay, so I'm going to put this kale into this plastic bag as well to see if this is going to work. Okay, so we got part of a Ziploc bag and we got 3 jars of kale that are going to be frozen. So I'm going to label these and then I'm going to stick them in the freezer, and then in 2 days we're going to check and see what they look like. So I'm going to do the same thing with this pak choi. These are just pak choi leaves. I'm going to keep the stems, cut them up, blanch everything, and put it in a jar. Okay, so here's all my pak choi that's cut up. We're going to again go into the hot water and then the cold water, and then we're going to strain it and put it in a jar. Okay, so we have some spinach and we're going to do the exact same thing. So it has been a couple of days later and I just wanted to show you guys. So my spinach froze down really well. The kale is frozen down pretty well. Everything looks pretty good. A little more frosty than I expected to see, but it does have some airspace in it. And this one as well, same kind of look. Pak choi, looking very similar to the kale, but nice and green still. There's some more spinach, looking pretty good. And then we have our kale, still really dark green in the package. There's a lot less frosty bits in this one than in the other one, so we'll see what happens when I thaw them out. Thanks for watching.